Welcome back to the Revelation series here on Barefoot Bible. This is our 9th video in the weekly series, and this one covers chapter 2, verses 10 through 13 of Revelation. We'll finish up 2 verses about the church of Smyrna and then begin our study of the leavened church in Pergamos. Don't forget to submit your questions about Revelation below the video in the comments section. We really appreciate that. We stopped last time with Revelation 2, verse 9. Jesus described those who persecuted the believers in Smyrna as the synagogue of Satan. In both Smyrna and Philadelphia, according to Revelation 3:9, there were groups of unbelieving Jews who persecuted Christians. Now, Jesus is not characterizing all Jews this way, but just these two specific groups that attacked believers there. Verse 10 says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that you may be tried. And ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." You know, the devil's always delighted to use organized religion to fight against God and his purposes. Smyrna was a complex city for Christians to live out their faith. As a headquarters of the imperial cult, at least once a year, everyone was required to come and worship Caesar at one of Caesar's temples or face fairly dire consequences. Jesus said they would have tribulation 10 days, which was a common figure of speech indicating a short time or a limited time. He admonished them, "Be faithful unto death." And there was a leader in the church of Smyrna that actually was. Polycarp led the church of Smyrna at one point, and he would have been among believers who initially received this letter. Around AD 155, the Romans arrested Polycarp for his faith. And when asked by the proconsul to recant his faith, he said, 86 years have I served him. He never once wronged me. How then shall I blaspheme my king who saved me? And tradition indicates that Polycarp was burned at the stake in the arena. Jesus promised, "I will give thee a crown of life." And John's brother, who wrote the book of James, also said in James 1, "Blessed is the man who endureth temptation, for when he's tried, he shall receive the crown of life." He used the same phrase. Verse 11 goes on, "He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death." In his second letter to the 7 churches, Jesus promised to the overcomers that they shall not be hurt by the second death. That phrase is explained over in Revelation chapter 20. The first death is common to all of us, a physical death, and there's a rather humorous tombstone I found. The second death results from the final judgment, ending for unbelievers in an eternal death, and that's Revelation 20. If you'll find that in verse 13 and 14. The church of Smyrna was one of 2 churches that received no criticism in their letter from Jesus, and that is outstanding. Verse 12 goes on, "And to the angel of the church in Pergamos write, These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with 2 edges." And Pergamos, just for background, was 40 miles north of Smyrna, near the Aegean Sea. It was another very wealthy, influential city. Today, there you see a picture of it. It is Bergama, Turkey, population of a little over 100,000 people. Back in the 1st century AD, Pergamos was considered to be a center of education. A library of over 200,000 volumes was sent from Pergamos to Egypt as a gift from Antony to Cleopatra. How about that? It was also a center of medicine, and there's the remains of a temple dedicated to Asclepius, the serpent god of medicine, which was worshipped by the Greeks and the Romans. It was also the center of pagan worship. Temples up on the hill were built to many of the most important Roman gods, and they were high there above the city. You could see Bergama in the background. If Ephesus was considered the great political center of Asia Minor, Smyrna was a great commercial center, then Pergamos would be the religious center of the area. Verse 13 said, Jesus said, I know thy works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. According to Jesus' message to this church, he called Pergamos the center of Satan's seat or headquarters. At the time John sent this letter, there were temples to Apollos, this would be the god of the sun, Dionysus, the god of harvest, Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Pergamos was home to temple to Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and Asclepius, the goddess of god of medicine. There was also the temple, one of the seven wonders in the world, to Zeus, and he was the god of thunder. So it shouldn't surprise us that Jesus chose to refer to this place, the city, as Satan's headquarters. In this capital of idolatry, Antipas was the leader of the church, and he was martyred for the faith also in one of the arenas. Please subscribe to Barefoot Bible, click the notification button, and share a link to this video. Encourage your Facebook friends to become new subscribers. Please help us with that. And then next Thursday, the video will continue, and it will cover chapter 2, verses 14 to maybe 19. We'll finish up on the church of Pergamos and begin Jesus' letter to the liberal church in Thyatira. So look forward to joining you once again and continuing our study through Revelation.